A lot of project managers will tell you that projects would be easy if it weren't for people, the stakeholders, the people who have an interest in your project. And that's what we're going to look at in this video. The first thing to be absolutely clear about is what a stakeholder is. When I first got involved in project management, stakeholder wasn't a widely used word. Now it's far more widely used and widely understood, but I don't want to assume that you know what it means. So a stakeholder is anyone who has any kind of interest in the project, either because they can affect the project in some way, the outcome or the process, or because they are affected in some way by the outcome or the process. And the simple truth about stakeholders is that it's they who will determine the success or failure of your project. So engaging with them is a vital activity. Indeed, a number of years ago, you would have heard me and people like me talking about stakeholder management. Now, I think I'm not alone in feeling that the term stakeholder management is a little old-fashioned. It's old-fashioned because it assumes you can manage your stakeholders, and that seems just a little bit disrespectful. So I prefer the term stakeholder engagement because it reminds me what our job really is, which is to engage our stakeholders in a conversation, to engage with them. And the stakeholder engagement process is very simple at heart. Of course, the devil is in the detail, and the difficulty is following that process rigorously and ruthlessly, day by day, through the difficulties and the trials of your project. It's a 5-stage process. First, we identify who our stakeholders are and what our objective is. Secondly, we analyse our stakeholders and the resources we have available to us. Third, we put together a plan. We put together a plan of how we're going to conduct our engagement process and also what our messages are going to be, a communication plan. The fourth step is to put that plan into action, to make things happen and also to react to what we hear and learn from our stakeholders. And the final stage is what joins it all up together. It's the review stage. And in this stage, we examine what we're learning, and then we create the cycle of going back and applying what we're learning to reconsider our plan or to reconsider our analysis or even to bring in new stakeholders into our engagement process. So 5 very simple steps. And it's the review and the cycling back that makes it successful. Because if you identify your stakeholders, you understand them, you put together a plan, you take action, you may get lucky. You may persuade your stakeholders, you may find out everything you need to know from them, but you may not. Cycling back and understanding where the communication gaps are, where the differences of opinions are, and reformulating your plans accordingly and taking more action, being persistent and addressing the concerns you hear. That is the secret to success with stakeholder engagement.